Football fans who do not support Arsenal, we have got to come together. They cannot win this Premier League. I will say it again. Football fans who are non-Arsenal, they cannot win this Premier League because what they've done tonight has hurt everyone. Has hurt everyone. I was out. I'm in España right now. Yeah, Alicante. I was out enjoying my lovely meal, and I get an Ornstein notification. Arsenal are getting Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. Agreement reached. Done. Within hours. Out of nowhere. Arsenal Football Club have had the Kai Havertz injury and have responded in the way their fans would want them to respond. And I'm a hater. I'm not gonna lie. You know me. I talk football. I talk all different teams. I follow European teams, and I like to come analytically and honest. But right now, let me just be in my hating bag. I hate Arsenal and what they're doing, getting Eberechi Eze, and I'm gonna tell you why. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe because Arsenal are set to sign Eberechi Eze from Crystal Palace. David Ornstein has confirmed it with his bomber that Arsenal have reached an agreement in principle with Crystal Palace to sign Eze. Deal worth around the expired 68 million release clause, matching what Tottenham were ready to pay. Personal terms are close, and 27-year-old prefers to play for Arsenal. And he will join after playing for Crystal Palace tomorrow night in their European game. Wow. Out of nowhere, Arsenal have got the signing that they needed to not only upset Tottenham fans, because look, there's Tottenham fans out there who thought it was a done deal. Eze was going. I've made videos myself saying Eze done deal. I thought it was a matter of time. There was no Arsenal in the pipeline. There was no talks about Arsenal. There was no links. It looked like it was a formality that he was going Tottenham to replace James Maddison and start in that number 10 role. So what Arsenal have done, firstly, has broken their rivals' hearts. You're seeing them all on the timeline upset. They're triggered. They're rattled. So that is one thing that Arsenal have got over their club, Tottenham, right now. That they've got the player that they were really excited about. But it's not just that. For me, this signing here is the reason that Arsenal are now serious title contenders. Because I felt they were one player away. I've said it week upon week upon week. You can sign Zubimendi, you can sign Gyökeres, but you look at your team and you're thinking that left-hand side / number 10 deputy behind Odegaard or with Odegaard, you're missing something. I said it has to be Rodrigo or it has to be Eze. Get one of them and you are serious title contenders. And Arsenal, well, you've done it now. You've gone out and got the player that everyone has said, this is what takes you from here to here, right at the top of the screen. You are now in that title race. There are no excuses for Arsenal not to be there come game week 35, 36, 37, and 38. You've got your striker. You've got your midfielder in Zubimendi, and you've got your number 10 / left wing outlet in Eberechi Eze. And this guy is a fantastic footballer. Let's not get it twisted, guys. Let's talk about football now. This guy is a fantastic footballer. We've seen what he's done for Crystal Palace, helping them win the FA Cup, helping them win the Community Shield, scoring big goals, creating, ball carrying, technical ability at the highest level, gives you flair, gives you entertainment. And look, when we talk about Premier League, heritage, and Premier League now, Eberechi Eze is one of those players that gives you that feeling. He gives you that vibe. He gives you that flair. Now, adding him into that Arsenal team is perfect because, one, he can now play on the left wing. You've got Martinelli and Madueke that are there as options at the moment. Whether Martinelli stays, we don't know. But they've got Martinelli and Madueke. They played against Manchester United on the weekend. We all saw that they got lucky. But that was one game. Arsenal were going to get better. But you now have Eberechi Eze who can play on the left-hand side, with his silky dribbling, with his goal-scoring ability, with his creative flair. This move here takes Arsenal up another level because you're looking at who he's now playing with. He's not playing with the team at Crystal Palace such as Sarr, Mateta, Adam Wharton, who are very good in their own right, but they're not going to challenge for the title. However, you're now joining Odegaard, Declan Rice, Zubimendi, Saka, and you're now feeding Victor Gyökeres, who hopefully for Arsenal can imitate, if not even better Mateta's goal tally and contribution last season. So the big thing with Eze is that he is coming in for me as a guaranteed starter because he's better than Martinelli and he's better than Madueke. Now, look, I know he's not an out-and-out winger, but what he's going to give you in terms of the productivity and the end product, the flair, the creation, the goal scoring, I'm sorry, he has to play. When you're coming in for 68 million, 65 million, and Arsenal were challenging for the Premier League, and you've seen what he's done for Crystal Palace, he has to play. This guy it's a game changer for Arsenal because it had to be him or Rodrigo. That was the only way that I saw Arsenal fully competing for the Premier League title. It had to be him or Rodrigo because one thing about the pair of them is that they can play on the left-hand side, but they can also play in the 10 role. And I'm now going to lead this on to Martin Odegaard. When you look at Arsenal and Martin Odegaard, who is the club captain and a very good player in his own right when he's on form, fantastic footballer. However, we know Martin Odegaard physically sometimes can get dominated. His consistency, when he's not on it, Arsenal are not really on it. And when he's not on it, Arsenal then can turn to who? There's no one really out there that can turn to on the bench. Havertz was injured last year quite a lot. Gabriel Jesus not very, not very there as much. Ranieri, very young. Can't just throw him in and trust him when you're trying to win a title. Max Dowman, he's so young. He's 15, 16. You're not going to play him. So Arsenal have lacked that cutting edge that when Odegaard's not performing, who can go in that role and contribute? Who can take his place or challenge him to take his spot just because he's captain, not a guaranteed starter? Doesn't mean that. Eberechi Eze is that guy. He's a lovely number 10 footballer. He can pick up the ball, play on the half turn. He can drive with it, commit players, dribble, shoot from outside the box. Like, he is a silky number 10. He's a fantastic footballer. And now you've got someone at Arsenal Football Club that can play on the left and play in the 10. And I think you look at games that Arsenal might have, drawn last season or maybe lost narrowly because they lack that cutting edge or lack that killer up top. You've now added Victor Gyökeres, who, forget his debut. He is going to improve on that, right? Because it was poor. But he scored 50 goals in 2 seasons in a row at Sporting Lisbon. He knows how to hit the back of the net if you give him chances. Yes, the Premier League will be harder. And yes, he won't get 50. But if he can get 15 to 20 league goals on top of Saka, Odegaard, Eze, Martinelli, Madueke, Declan Rice, other players contributing, then that's perfect. That's what Arsenal need. But there was games that Arsenal drew last year that now when you add Zubimendi into the controlling side of the number 6, you've now got Eberechi Eze that can play off the left and play in the number 10 role. And now you add Victor Gyökeres. I'm sorry, that gap that Arsenal had to Liverpool and Man City last year has to be bridged. There are no more excuses. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from any Arsenal fans. Your defense is sorted. Calafiori, Lewis Skerry, Gabriel, Saliba, Ben White, Timber, David Ryan goal. Defense is lean and mean. That's done. That's a wrap. Then you've got Zubimendi and Rice in midfield. You complement each other perfectly. Rice can now do the box-to-box. Zubimendi, control from the 6, dictate the tempo, like Thomas Partey did, even though I think they will miss him. And then you've got Saka, proven. We know what Saka's about. Odegaard or Eze. Nwaneri there now. Then you've got Madueke, Martinelli, and Eze now as the starter. And then Gyökeres up top when you can play Havertz, Jesus. Even though Havertz is injured, let's talk about if they're fully fit. You've got options. You have got a squad now ready to challenge and go blow for blow with Man City and Liverpool. Arsenal, you have to win a trophy this year. And I'm not talking Carabao Cup. You have to win a Premier League or Champions League, Arteta. Everyone is watching you. If you don't, you can maybe finish just behind it. If you don't win the Champions League, they definitely want to get to the semi-finals. You are now going into your 6th season and you've had the backing. You've got the players that Arsenal fans wanted. So I don't want to hear Arsenal fans trying to play it light or give them excuses. Look, as a neutral, I am now saying you needed that one player to come in, Rodrigo or Eze, and you've got it now. What more do you want? Other than being handed the Premier League and saying, right, here you go, here's a cheat code. You've got to earn your right to win the Premier League. You've got to play over 38 games, show consistency, beat the teams in the Big 6, and show that. And now you have got the platform to do that because this signing here with Eberechi Eze is the game changer. That was the difference. This was the difference maker. And he's 27 now, coming into his prime as well. Injury-free after the setbacks he had. and he's Premier League proven. We've seen what he can do. You know, when you're performing at that level for Crystal Palace and you can see the class that he possesses, one thing about Eberechi Eze is that he can play in any team and you can see that he's got the class. But now, if you put him around better players, his game's going to elevate. Players around him's game should elevate. That means the team should elevate. Arsenal should now be better than what they were with Eberechi Eze in the team. And it bothers me. Yes, it pisses me off. Yes, it winds me up. Because now I've got to sit and watch Tijani Reinders at Man City, who I love. I've got to now watch Eberechi Eze at Arsenal, who I really like. You know, Hugo Ekitike, a player I really like now at Liverpool. Teams around me who I don't really want to see winning are buying players that I like. But this is a massive, massive coup for Arsenal. It shows their intent. It shows the fans they mean business and have gone out and got this deal done quick. And I think that's the biggest thing for Arsenal fans and for Arsenal players in that team that they should be impressed about. They want to be achieving big things. They've got players like Gabriel Saliba, Saka, you know, Declan Rice. They all want to win. They've spoke about it enough now. And now it's about doing it. And with that Kai Havertz injury blow today, it got rumored this morning that they're going out and looking for an attacker to come in. And by the end of the day, Eberechi Eze is joining the football club. That's how a big team move. Arsenal today with Berta, fair play. He's had a bit of criticism. They have moved like a big club today. They've not had no rumours, no links. It's just a bomber. Here we go. We've gone and spoke to Eberechi Eze. We've spoke to Crystal Palace. We're going to pay the money. We want him to join the football club. Does the player want to come? Eberechi Eze said, yes, I do. Sorry, Spurs. That's how a club should operate. So Arsenal, you have got yourself a big baller. You have got yourself a baller that can now make you serious title contenders. Let me know your comments in below. Like this video. Make sure you subscribe. I'm not a hater. I was for 3 minutes, but now I'm a football fan. And I've got to say, Arsenal, you've got yourself the player that you needed. Guys, I will see you on the next video. And big up for your support. 4K on the way to 5K. Thank you.